Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Holowitz from the John Anthony Group, and I want to thank you for being here for this tutorial. This tutorial is going to deal with looking up contacts, but then once you've looked them up, adding to the lookup and narrowing the lookup. Not necessarily in that order, but we're going to take a look at that. So in our last tutorial, we showed you how to do a lookup in Act, and I'm going to take you back and revisit that one. I'm going to go lookup. I'm going to go to ID status, and when the dialog box comes up, I'm going to type in the word prospect. Now it was already in there because I had previously done that lookup, so now I can either hit enter on my keyboard or click OK on the screen. I just hit enter on my keyboard. We are going to find that we have 203 prospects. But let's say we want to narrow this list down of 203 prospects to only the people that are prospects that have the first name of John. I'm going to go back up to lookup. I'm going to go down to first name. I'm going to type in the name John, J-O-H-N. And now on the left-hand side, down below where it says for the current lookup, instead of replacing the lookup and finding all the contacts in the entire database that have the name of John, I'm going to click on the drop down and click down narrow lookup. So now what's going to happen is of these 203 prospects, we're going to find out how many of them have the first name of John. And I'm going to click OK. You are going to find that we have 8 prospects that have the first name of John. What if we wanted to add to this smaller list? Let's say, for example, we want to add all the contacts in the database that had the first name of Steve or Stephen. Well, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go lookup, I'm going to go first name, and what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to type in ST for just the first 2 letters. And what I'll do next is click on the left-hand side where instead of saying replace lookup, it says add to lookup. So what I want you to observe is we currently have 8 contacts. I'm going to click on add to lookup and then click OK. So what it's going to do is find all the contacts that's first name begins with the letter ST. And I had said Stephen, but I'm noticing on my list there's actually Stanley. If I wanted to isolate it to Steve or Stephen, I could have typed in more, but I knew there might be a Steve or a Stephen, so that's why I just did ST. So in this particular case, instead of having 8 contacts, there are now 15. So I know that another 7 contacts have first names that begin with the letter ST. So we can narrow a lookup and we can add to a lookup. For future reference, if you do a lookup like this a lot, let's say you do this lookup every hour, well, this is the kind of lookup that would be great to create a group out of. And in the future, we're going to talk about groups and understand how groups work. But when you're doing lookups like this on a regular basis, instead of having to go back to them all the time, this is where a group works out very well. That's a quick and easy way to look at narrowing a lookup and adding to a lookup. Again, my name is Tony Holowitz from the John Anthony Group, and I want to thank you for listening to this tutorial.